good, we live. Oh wow, music is so loud. Okay. I think we're good. Let's see. Why is the music so loud? Chat, tell me, is it too loud, the music? I mean, it's not too loud, but... All right. Welcome everybody. We're gonna vibe a little bit. Chat. Nope, this is not on Twitch. Exclusively on YouTube. I like this vibe. I like this music. All right, first people joining. Welcome, guys. Esselback says it's okay. Cool. All right. What's up? What's up, guys? Where are you watching from? What's your time zone? Is it night? Is it day? What is it for you? What do you mean streams very delayed for me? Ooh, I like this song. This is my jam. All right, so let me check the chat. Can you do a live remake to any of your favorite song? Oh my god, live remake? That would take a very long live stream. Not tonight, but that's actually a pretty good idea. I could do something like I don't know, like I could commit to like a 12-hour stream, and so you know, that way we have the time to also like discuss about why I do things. That's actually a good idea. We should do that, like remake a song in like, I don't know, let's say 6 hours, but I'm just gonna commit to like streaming for 12, so we have time. Okay, there's people from France. 9 p.m. 5 a.m. in Korea. Oh my god, good to see you here so early. 11 p.m. here, France, Turkey. Welcome everybody. Someone's hitting me up. All right. Yeah, live remake. I will definitely keep that in mind. But I need like a full day only for that. UK, Oliver, welcome to the stream. Turkey. It's been a while. It's been a while since the last stream. I don't even know, to be honest, what we're gonna do tonight. Like, just hanging out, you know, chatting a little bit. I was also thinking about maybe showing some details about one of my latest remake. For example, I was thinking about the Die With A Smile one, and I don't know if you guys, if you 28 viewers have watched my latest remake on Instagram. That's only a short, so I haven't posted that on YouTube because it doesn't make sense. Actually, I was trying to post it as a short on YouTube, but for some reason, I don't know, I couldn't. So yeah, and it just blew up. It was a remake of Not Like Us by Kendrick, and it did like 150k views. I think now it's sitting at 180. Let me check. 180 something views. 180,000. So 190 right now. Not Like Us remake in 1 minute. So I can show you a little bit of that. Would you ever consider There to remake a Daft Punk song? Wow. Yeah, why not? But I would have to like choose wisely, because, you know, like I would need to choose a song that I know for a fact that I can remake pretty well, because otherwise I would feel so bad remaking you know, a song from Daft Punk and not making justice to it. So how do you get drums to sonically fit together as a kit? Well, I don't think this is actually an interesting question, because I see a lot of people asking me sometimes, like in the comments, like, what kit are you using? To be honest, like, I'm never using pre-made kits. Like, I mean, not that I can recall. It's very rare, you know, that I like go for like a specific kit. I just like try to choose sounds that, of course, they have to make sense with each other, you know. So like, I'm not saying that I'm choosing. You have to try to choose sounds that make sense. So maybe if you're like, I don't know, for the Kendrick remake, for example, some people were asking me, what's the kit that you've used? But I haven't used the kit. Like, I was just basically typing snap, I was typing kick, I was typing hat, and I was trying to stay in that, you know, sonic lane. But yeah, that's it. As long as they fit in the genre that you're trying to make, it doesn't really matter if it's like a pre-made kit or actually, yeah, like I said, I never use pre-made kits, so, or like rarely. So yeah, share some of your favorite sample packs with us. This is, you know, it's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you. Like, somebody followed, I think. Yeah, somebody just subscribed to the channel, so appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, thank you. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, I mean, I like, for example, I for sure have some sample packs that I like, but you know, I like a lot to just go on the search bar on Ableton and type whatever I'm searching, and then just use my ears and not try to go for like a specific pack or something like that, unless I know that that specific pack has what I'm looking for already. So like, for example, Oliver, you know, all of Oliver's packs are great, and most of the times if I have to do something that's like kind of disco-ish, that's what I'm leaning towards, because yeah, I know that pack has that kind of stuff. Kashmir, like, amazing samples, like in so many different genres actually, so that's pretty broad. Decap has some cool drum samples. I don't have the full packs from Decap, but I have like downloaded some of his samples from Splice. But yeah, it's like I said, I don't usually purchase like packs. I mean, yeah, I've done that for Oliver and for Kashmir, but usually I don't purchase like full sample packs. I just like to have sounds from one, sounds from another, and then just go on my search bar and, you know, look for something that fits. That's it. Are you in LA? No, I'm not, but I'm going to LA in a week. I'm leaving next Sunday, so yeah, excited about that. I'm not right now. What's life like lately? Life has been great, but so damn busy lately, so busy. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent with also making videos and stuff, and probably now you're thinking, what are you talking about? You haven't been uploading for like a month, and yes, that's true, but I've been working on a lot of stuff. I've been working on a video that I think I'm gonna post on Monday or Tuesday, possibly. So stay tuned for that. That's a video that took a while. Like there's a lot of editing, a lot of, even like just a lot of scripting. It's gonna be a cool one. I think many of you will resonate with the topic of that video. I don't want to say what it is yet, but yeah, just keep an eye on the channel for next week. So yeah, I've been super busy working on trying to make better content, not only more content but also better content. Like I want to make videos that can stand out, and there are like many people talking about music on YouTube, but I want to stand out. I don't want to just be one of the YouTube producers, I want to do it in a slightly different way, as professional as it can be. And so yeah, I've been also posting. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. If you don't, go right now. I want to see my phone, like the notification is coming in from you following me. No, I'm kidding. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been posting reels consistently, because now in 2025, that's also one of my goals, to actually become a little bit more consistent also on Instagram, because that's where most of the industry is. Like I have a lot of people from the industry that follow me there, and so it's nice that they see my face a little bit more often, and also it's a good way to find different people than the YouTube people, and possibly bring all of you guys together. So I've been more consistent uploading shorts there. So yeah, and I'm only talking about videos, so I'm not talking about the music. I've been to London. I've been to London 2 weeks ago. I was there for a week of sessions, and like super fun, very fun week. Yeah, we wrote, I don't remember exactly, 4-5 songs, something like that. So I've been also working on those songs that we did in London. And yeah, that's it. That's just what's happening with my life lately. Let me see. Yeah, okay, the stream is working. What else? Which synthesizers do you use? I mean, if you mean hardware, I have the Juno. I have another, like the keyboard that you see below. That's a Roland XP80. That's like a digital keyboard from the 90s. And then I have the Korg M1 right there. But if you're talking about VSTs, oh my god, I use so many. But my favorites are always those like like Juno, Jupiter, the Moog, all of those types of synths. Those are my favorites. Your remakes are amazing, thank you. Oh my god, I missed some of these messages. Can you remake any of Indian songs? I can remake anything. What's up? I'm so happy to see you live, man. So happy to see you here. Lo-Fi Studio, thank you for tuning in. What would be the most useful instrument to have basic skills on as a producer? Oh, that's a very nice question. Let me read through the other questions before I answer this. Would you consider doing a remake of any of the Silk Sonic songs? Yes, and guys, today, just a few hours ago, I don't know if you guys know D-Mile, the producer, for like most of the producer and actually writer. Like he's an amazing songwriter from Silk Sonic, and like also for Bruno Mars, Die With A Smile. Anyway, D-Mile just watched my Die With A Smile remake and he commented. So that's great. So yeah, why not? I should totally do one of Silk Sonic songs. If you have to choose, don't worry, Oliver, I'm gonna reply to your question, but just going through these because these are a little bit faster to answer. So if you have to choose between Slate Digital or UAD, UAD, like 100%, no question about that. You're so cool, I aspire to be like you. Oh my god, that's like a very nice from you, thank you. How to get loud mix? I think I have a pretty good video about mastering that you should check out. I cover how to like achieve the loudness that you want to get to, but I'm not a real fan of the loudness war. So yeah, my Instagram is badhabit_songs. Love your content. What should a producer do if he's having trouble setting up the different sections of a song, and how are these sections defined? Thanks. That's an interesting question as well. My question is, do you think that Ableton Intro is good enough for making good music or not? Maybe there are some important things that are missing. Okay, 1 second. Don't underestimate the power of TikTok. I know. I actually had a few videos going viral on TikTok last year. I should definitely upload stuff on TikTok as well. I just, I can see a little less, like, I think TikTok doesn't translate as well as YouTube, especially YouTube and Instagram also. What I mean is that the people that follow you on TikTok most of the times don't care about you that much. Like, maybe they see that video, they're like, oh, okay, cool, but like they don't really follow up most of the times. But I might be wrong about that. Can you remake Messy by Lola Young? That's an interesting one. The Weeknd's new album. That's a good one, but it's difficult because I don't know which song to pick. I was actually considering remaking one of those, but I don't know. Cheers anyway. I'm already talking too much, so I gotta drink something. Thank you guys for tuning in. Very, very nice to see you guys here. So to you guys. Oh yeah, I needed this. All right, so off screen possibly. I'm gonna go back to those questions in a second. Dude, you should definitely make some 21 pilots. That could be a tough one. How to make stay synth in FL like that Juno 60? I'm not sure what you mean. No, I still haven't answered that question about the instrument as a producer. I'm gonna go back to that in a second. Sports Car by Tate McRae. I was listening to the album this morning. That's one of my favorite songs from the album, so I could. Love your channel, thank you. Appreciate it. Your content is very interesting. What is the best advice to reach more fans? Okay, that's interesting too. Would you consider uploading your song remakes in full? I can answer this very quickly, no. And the simple reason is because I don't want any trouble with my channel. Like, my channel is performing very well, so I don't want to have any trouble, with copyright and stuff like that. Already, like, my remakes have been demonetized. Most of them have been demonetized because of, because the songs sound so similar that YouTube actually thinks it's the original song, and so they demonetize. So I cannot, upload the full thing or like. Okay, so. Oh, italiani, complimenti per l'icnusa. Insomma. If you're in Europe now, I'd like to work with you, but I don't know if you collaborate with artists, beginners. I mean, I have a lot on my plate right now, so it will be difficult to do that because, like I said, I'm following so many projects at the moment, and so it's difficult. But it's not about being beginner or not. It's about, most of the times, if there's like an artist, like a producer that has something that sparks my interest, it doesn't really matter, if he or she is a beginner or like expert. Charlie put video where he shows the exact preset for stay. Oh, stay, you meant the song. Oh, okay, yeah, that's easy. That's an easy. It's actually a preset from the Junos. Like, you don't even have to tweak it. Remakes so good it gets copyrighted. I know. Okay, so let me go back to a couple of those questions. I love this music. Okay, what would be the most useful instrument to have basic skills on as a producer? That's a very interesting question. That's an excellent question. So I would say the answer is it depends. and it depends on the genre that you're leaning towards, I would say. So my first answer would be piano, because piano is like so universal. Like, you know, just having some skills, and you don't have to be a professional. Like, I'm not a crazy pianist, I'm not that good, but I know what I'm doing, you know, and I have a little bit of you know, I can play I mean, unless it's like very difficult, like chords or like, but I can play it well enough to be able to do anything that I need to do. So I would say piano, but it depends, because let's say that instead you're like a producer and you're leaning towards like producing I don't know, folk music, or like you're in Nashville, maybe you're going for a more like a acoustic vibe. In that case, probably guitar. So yeah, it's a difficult question to answer, but you should ask yourself, what do I want to do? Like, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to be like a trap producer? Am I trying to be a pop producer? Am I trying to be, you know, and try, but piano is probably the broad instrument that will allow you to do anything, I would say. Oh, okay. Someone just donated. Thank you, Coco P. Thank you so much for the donation. Please make reggaeton remakes from Sky Rompiendo. Ooh, I should totally do that. I should like go to Miami and remake something, you know, from Miami, like with that vibe. Definitely, that's a good idea. Thank you for the donation. Really appreciate it. Hang on. I had a few more questions that I left behind. Oh, okay, so setting up the different sections of a song, and how are these sections defined? Well, I would say just start from a genre, because usually each genre has a very specific way of, you know, arranging the songs. So just an example, let's say that you're trying to become a very good EDM producer, okay? And you're asking, okay, what are the sections in an EDM song? Just, I don't know, like take 10 EDM songs that are your references, and start like listening to each one of them and put it on paper. Like listen and be like, sorry, I have a new dog. I'm gonna show it to you later, but put it on paper. So be like, okay, the intro for an EDM song is usually between like 1 minute and 1 minute and 30 seconds. Great. So once you know that, that's how you're gonna structure your song, you know, and then you just take these 10, 15 songs, you take your references and you put it on paper, and you're like, okay, maybe one song has a 1 minute intro, the other one has a 1 minute 30 intro. So you know that that's the ballpark, you know, and then it's also about, you know, doing what you think is right for your song. But I would approach that, you know, analysis that way. Let me see if we have some quick questions to answer to. Going to Miami is always a good idea. I know, I've been twice. I'm in love with Miami. Are you not afraid that AI will replace producers in the future? Absolutely not. I'm not, because I don't know, like, yes, I mean, AI will get better for sure, but I will get better. And also, I think it will always miss that humanity. I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm not worried about that, to be honest. I think AI will definitely take over in some areas of music production. So for example, if I was only making music for like ads, or like you know, all of those things, like commercials, that music will be probably replaced by AI music, because it's basically background music, you know. It has to give you that feeling, but it's background music. But I'm not that worried about the music that people actually listen to. How do I figure out my music style? Oh, I mean, that's a great question, but what do you like? Like, what music do you like to listen to? What music do you like to, like, if start from what you listen to, because if you start analyzing what you listen to already, it's gonna be just easier, you know. You're not gonna like spending time on a genre that you don't like listening to. So start from the music that you like to listen to and start analyzing that, and try to also translate that into, you know, music, and see where your taste is bringing you. That's it. Okay, there was another question. I can't find it, but pretty sure I had one more question to answer. It was about Ableton. What was it? Like, oh yeah, it was Ableton intro. Is it good enough for making good music? Yes, it is, even if I don't know exactly what Ableton intro has. I don't remember, to be honest, like which plugins are missing. I don't know, but I mean, you're gonna be fine with that, at least in the beginning. Just, you know, try to start. Just don't ask too many questions. Not to me. Don't ask yourself too many questions. Just go, start. And then once you realize, oh, I really need that thing and this is missing in Ableton intro, okay, maybe consider like upgrading or like buying a plugin for that. But like, start. Okay, let me see. Esselback says, thanks for skipping my question. I appreciate it. I didn't do it on purpose. I don't know. Let me go back to it. Oh no, that was your question. I just answered that. Come on, give me some time. How do you start music production? Could you give advice about to be more productive? Like, what do you mean? How do you start? What do you mean, how do you start? You mean, how do you start learning about music production? Or do you mean, how do you start like a track? That's what I don't get about your question. Piano was the first instrument I learned and I have never regretted it. Yeah, absolutely. Why should you? Are you going to stick to remaking hits, or are you planning to expand your remakes and also remake songs that aren't known too well? I don't know yet, but like my channel is getting bigger, but it's not that huge. And so I think for now I'm gonna stick to remaking, at least, I'm not saying hits, but like well-known songs, I think, but that might change. If you're working with an artist one-on-one and produce songs or even their whole album, do you take upfront money or do you ask for a percentage? If so, a percentage of what? I'm new to this. This is a great question. Great question. I like the questions about the business because not many people know how the business works. And, you know, it's also a very important part of becoming serious about music production. So, great question. I'm going to answer this in 1 second. Can you please listen to my song? Dan, I know I said this before, but I need to like make, I don't know, like a way for you guys to submit the songs so that I can listen to them while we're live, and just do that. What is the best arrangement for EDM? I mean, probably like an intro, 1 minute long, and then a breakdown. That depends. The length of that depends. a build up goes into the first drop, and then it breaks down again, and then build up, and then goes into the second drop, which is a little bit different from the first drop, and then usually you go into the outro. That's basically like the EDM basic arrangement. What kind of car do you drive? I had an Audi A3, but I sold it a few months ago, so I'm not driving anything at the moment. But yeah, that's my most recent car. Your favorite plugins for Pad and Atmosphere? Well, Omnisphere is great. It's a plug, like Omnisphere is so great, but it has so many sounds that sometimes I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna bother searching because it has too many. But whenever I go in there and I spend some time like going through the presets, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. So definitely Omnisphere is great for that, like both for pads and atmosphere. And also I really like the Jupiter for that, Roland Jupiter. But you can also get like the Arturia one, like any, you know, replica of the Jupiter is great. Combat Cat says, I know the music I like, but I don't know how to turn that into a custom genre, so to say. I don't think you have to reinvent the wheel, to be honest. Like, if you listen to the music that's on the radio now, man, it's like, even like the Tate McRae's new album, that's just Timbaland, you know, that's just, you know, the same thing that Timbaland was doing with Nelly Furtado and you know, early 2000, no, not early, like 2000s. And so, I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just do what you like and don't worry too much about like creating a new genre. Of course, if you can do that, like that's the best thing that can set you apart, like from anyone else. But it's not that easy. So I wouldn't start from that. I would start from just doing something that you like, and then in the beginning it's probably going to be very similar to something that you listen to already, and then you're going to find your way. I'm gonna go back to that interesting question about the business. Don't worry, I don't forget. What does a typical master chain look like for you? I'm gonna show you in a second, because I'm gonna open, stick around, because I'm gonna open one of my remakes in a little bit, and so I'm gonna show you my very basic master chain in one of those projects. What MIDI keyboard are you using? This one in front of me is M Audio. It's called Code, I think. Yeah, Code 61. This is an old one. You're not gonna find this one anymore. But like the Oxygen Pro is the new version of this. Do you make a living from production? Yes. Whatever. Will you put a master bus while you are producing? Again, I'm gonna show you as soon as I open one of those projects, but usually the way it goes is that I start my projects. So let's say that I'm making a new beat. I'm not putting the master on right away. In the beginning, I'm just, you know, throwing sounds in and experimenting. And then once I'm like, I don't know, let's say 40-50% in, like I realize that that's a song that I'm gonna finish, that's when I'm gonna start to apply the master and like to, you know, reorganize the session and mix it just a little bit. Mixing, I'm just talking about the volumes, you know, just so I can listen to it and not be bothered by like distortion and clipping. But I'm not gonna go in like into the details of master until the very, very end. How do you delete a song you have made in new FL Studio? Not sure what you mean. What are some plugins, VSTs, must have for neo soul and R&B? There's some libraries, I don't remember the name. I I remember there are some very cool libraries for that in Contact, but I have no idea. Like, I don't remember the names, but you should go like on Google and search something like that. But aside from that, I think you should think about the genre, not about the plugins. Like, think about the genre. If you're going for R&B, neo soul, what comes to mind for me are like pianos, electric pianos, Rhodes, probably like some guitars. So start from that. Don't start from the plugins. Start from the instruments. Like, what are you hearing when you listen to neo soul, to R&B, and then try to find instruments and VSTs that have those sounds. You know, it doesn't matter if they're coming from like Contact or Toria or like anything. Oh yeah, we have an Italian question here. Come gestisci la tua routine? Come studi e quanto produci durante la giornata? So I'm gonna translate for the people that are not speaking Italian here. So the question is about my routine. How do I manage like my routine? What's my routine? And how many hours do I produce during the day? It really depends. So my routine is usually like I wake up around like 8 and at like 9:30 I'm in the studio. And that depends on the day, because some days I give priority to music, some days I give priority to like videos and content. So for example, today I had the video to finish, and so I gave priority to that. I haven't made any music today, for example. I haven't even opened Ableton yet. Somebody just subscribe to the channel. Thank you. If you're watching, thank you. And I don't really, like lately, I haven't really been studying production that much. Like I think I'm in a place right now where I'm pretty comfortable about my skills, so I'm not really studying. But like I don't see studying like finding hours in my day to just study music or like study production. It's more about like maybe I'm in bed at night with the computer and I watch a video from like, I don't know, Jack Antonoff breaking down a song. I consider that studying. So yeah, that's how I do it. And yeah, but usually when I produce, I can also produce for like 8 hours, like if it's a day that I dedicate to music. So it really depends. Oh yeah, Lemaitre in the house. Let's go, baby. One of my best friends here in the live from LA. Grande Lemaitre. So let me go through these questions again. I have that question that I have to answer still. So we got 55 people watching now. 57 actually. Great. Amazing. Any tips on how to deal with a cappella extracted with AI that sound harsh, metallic, over compressed? Ooh, find the better AI extractor. I don't really know. Like, vocals that sound bad are possibly one of the worst things to work with. So I'm not sure I have an answer to that. Love your work, man. Thank you. HS8 and HS8 sub good for medium size room. I haven't really worked with those speakers before, so I can't say. Medium size room, I mean, you should be fine. You should also be fine with the HS7 probably. Don't go for something too big if your room is not treated. That's a mistake that I've done. Now. Like, I have the Barefoot here and these are so damn loud and this room is not treated well enough. So yeah, I love these speakers, but like they could sound so much better. So don't go for something that's too big just because you want the 8-inch speaker. Doesn't matter. Granada says, hey man, you're doing a great job. Love the Strat in the back. Oh, that's a good one. That's a 2006 Stratocaster. Yeah. I love these vibes. What is your favorite music genre? It depends. Like this music that we're listening to now, I love this kind of music, but this is not what I listen to like on a daily basis. But sometimes, like just listening to this music puts me in such a good mood, you know. But I listen to anything, to be honest. Like I love Bruno Mars, I love like Silk Sonic, that kind of music, which is a little bit more like cool, you know. But I also like super pop music like Max Martin, and I love electronic music. I'm really open-minded about that. These remakes you upload on YouTube, usually how long does it take for you to make them? I would say it really depends on the song. Like the Die With A Smile, that was a tough one. I would say like that one probably took me 6-7 hours. I don't know, something like that. Maybe more. No, maybe, yeah, I think 6-7 hours could be right. What plugin do you mainly use for remakes? If you watch my remakes, you know I use so many plugins. I can't answer that question. How did you gain millions of fans on Spotify and other platforms? It took time. And actually, as an artist, I don't really have like millions of fans, but like music that I've worked on has reached definitely millions of fans. But like you start making connections and like with people, and eventually something will happen, you know. I know it's a broad answer, but yeah. Will you do Olivia Rodrigo remakes? Deja Vu tutorial, that would be cool. That would be cool because it's like also, you know, a real guitar, and that could be cool. Okay, I want to reply to that question about the business. Let me go back to it. So the question was, if I'm producing someone like an artist, or like one song, or even their whole album, if I take money up front, or do you ask for a percentage? And if so, a percentage of what? So this is a very good question. I would say usually the producer gets a fee just for the production. Okay, so I'm just gonna say random numbers. Okay, so don't quote me on this, but like let's say I'm producing a song for this artist, and the artist is like on a major label like Universal, Warner, any of these, and they have a budget for this artist, and so like I can ask for a $10,000 fee, for example. So I produce that song, and the label, not the artist in that case, it's the label, pays me that fee for the production. Then on top of that, it depends if I also wrote the song or not. Because for example, let's say that the artist is coming to me and they're like, I have this song, I just need you to produce it. In that case, I haven't participated in the writing of the song, and so in that case I'm not getting any songwriting splits, you know. But instead, most of the times the producer is also like in the room, and so if you're in the room and you were writing the song, you also get a percentage of the writing. And so these are like two separate things, you know. When you're in the room, it's like you're a songwriter because you're in the room to write the song, and then if you are also the producer of the song, you get paid a fee for that. Could be $1,000, could be $10,000, it could be, I don't know, $100,000. It depends who you are, you know. Like Max Martin is probably gonna charge $100,000, and yeah, that's usually how it goes. Then possibly the producer also has a little percentage on the master, and so that could be around like 3%. If you're like 3% is pretty good. It could also be 2. It depends. It depends. So yeah, usually this is how it goes. Hopefully this is clear. Like the way I explained it is pretty clear. Oh, I love that. My friend Lemaitre is asking questions. He's just testing me. He knows the answer. He knows the answer to this question. He's just testing me. He's like, Shaper Box is great, but the rate can't be MIDI controlled. Or, really? At least in Pro Tools. Maybe in Pro Tools. I don't know. I don't know if it can be in Ableton. Tremolator could be a solution, but again, I can't control it via MIDI. That's really weird. You should be able to control it via MIDI. I mean, Sound Toys, pretty sure you can. So maybe you should switch to Ableton, bro. Just switch to Ableton. Everything is just easier. Forget Pro Tools. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Pro Tools is great, but it's just, you know, I love it for like recording and like mixing vocals, but not for producing. What's up? How you doing? Okay, what was your favorite song to remake so far? Is there a song you'd like to remake in the future? So definitely the Die With A Smile was one of my favorites because it was so hard and so challenging, and also it had so many real instruments involved. I was also thinking of playing the real drums, but I didn't have a kit, so I couldn't do that. That's probably one of my favorites. Started producing a year ago, and last Friday released the first song produced by me. That's great. That's great. Would you mind reacting to the production? Not now, because I just want to, you know, keep going through the questions. And now I think at 10 p.m. I'm gonna open one of my remakes. When did you start making music? Around 2013, I think. 2012, I think it's like the first time I opened Ableton. 2013, it's like when I started, not making music, like the music was horrible, but like I was at least trying to make music. And then in 2014, I had my first couple of releases. Yo, Vigo Da Vinci, yo. Dog reveal. I mean, he's sleeping now, so I don't want to wake him up, but he's gonna wake up eventually. So when he wakes up, yes, I'm gonna show you the dog. What are you drinking? It's just a beer, like Italian beer, Icnusa. But I also have food. This is like a typical thing from, you know, my town. Let me see if it's good. So good. My God, this is great. Sorry, guys. Lemaitre, you should also try LFO tool for that, to like create stutters. You should be able to control it via MIDI, I think. How do you deal with muddiness in the song? Do you try to clear it in a group, or you go track by track? Yeah, you can try to fix it like in the master, but for sure you're gonna have like a couple of tracks that have most of that mud. I don't know, maybe like the piano sometimes can have some resonances in like the low mids. So try to identify those couple of tracks that might have that. And then maybe, yeah, also in the master, like at the end. I love these vibes. It's Friday night right here. I'm not in the club, but you know, kind of sounds like I am. Any plans on remaking anything from Hyperdram, an album by Justice? Not really, but you know, the song that The Weeknd has with Justice in the new album, that's a good candidate for me to remake, so maybe. How to start a music production career, how to get customers. That's, I think, the wrong mindset to start. I'm gonna be very honest with you. But I don't think that's the right mindset for you to have in the beginning. Like if you haven't started yet, you cannot think about finding people that want to hire you, you know? I would suggest just try to start, get better at your skills and at producing in general, and then show that to people. Like upload your work online on like, you know, social media. Try to, you know, show people that you can do stuff, and people are gonna start coming to you. That's an interesting question. Do you think there should be a balance between making original songs and remaking songs as a beginner? Definitely, yeah, absolutely. I think you should like try. I'm spoiling some of the things that I'm gonna say in the video that I'm posting next week, but anyway, doesn't matter. I think you should try to like stick to a schedule. So like if you're a beginner and you're trying to learn production, why don't you like, I don't know, put it in your agenda and be like, okay, every week or like every month, like whatever that is for you, I'm gonna remake a song. Good. And then every month I'm gonna also make one original song, or like every week I'm gonna make one original. So I mean, that way you're sure that you're balancing the things evenly, or maybe not even evenly, but like you can keep a structure, you know, in what you do. I think I might have missed some questions. What are your go-to plugins? I'm gonna show you my Ableton in a second. Ben J, I'm an upcoming artist and I love your videos. Thank you so much. Where are you from? In Italy, pretty close to Bologna, that area. Smaller city, but pretty close. I don't know your real name. Giovanni, that's my real name. Giovanni. In America, they call me Gio. Whatever, dude. It's fine. I got used to it. Sometimes I go to people and I'm like, hi, nice to meet you, Gio. And then I'm like, what? Has making remakes improved your work as a producer? Totally, 100%. Also because like now you see my reels, now you see my remakes, but I've been remaking stuff forever, like for 10 years. I've always done that. But before YouTube, I was only doing it for myself, you know, to just learn and study the producers that I liked. So definitely, you should do it. Even if you don't get close to like the final result, but at least you're trying. You know, you're trying to get there. You're trying to detect all of the instruments and like break down the productions. That's great. So. Any recommendation to be a good producer with free plugins? Is that possible? Or there will be a moment where you will need to make the hard choice? Yes, of course you can be a good producer with free plugins, because for any paid plugin, you could find like a free plugin that does the same thing. Maybe it doesn't do the same thing, you know, as good, but it does the same thing. Like for any Juno plugin, for example, you're definitely gonna find the Juno free plugin. That's not gonna sound as good, okay, but it's gonna sound like a Juno still. So yes, you can do it. But I also think that at some point, yes, you will also need to invest some money, and that's fine. Where did you get the secret Oliver pack? I got it from a friend in LA. I didn't know it was Oliver's, to be honest. Like, I didn't know until Oliver reached out to me and he asked me, dude, how do you have that? I got it from a friend. So it was stuff that was, you know, circulating in LA for years. Because I got it like in 2017 or something like that, so. How often do you actually consciously take something from a song and adapt it in your production? I mean, it's usually about influences, so it's not like I'm taking something from a song. It's like most of the times I'm like thinking of something that I know that I've listened to in the past, and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of that. I could try if that approach works with my song. It's mostly about doing that. It's never about, oh my god, yeah, I love that specific, I don't know, bass sound. Let me reuse that in my song, because most of the times that's not gonna work. You think it's gonna work, but it's not gonna work. Because it's your song, it's just different, you know, so. I'm sorry, Marcus, but I'm not gonna listen to songs tonight. Not gonna listen to songs from you guys tonight. I should just like set up a different live stream one day. I know I keep saying that and I haven't done it yet. I know, but I want to do it. Benjay, I'm close to Verona. Great. Verona is so nice, like such a nice city. Have you ever been to the States? Are you kidding me? Of course, like LA is my second home. Like I've lived there for like almost 5 years and I'm going back in 1 week. Love that Juno 60 behind you. Oh yeah, I love it. How much it cost and where did you get it? I bought it on Reverb, used from France, I think. And I think it costed like a little bit more than 2,000, probably like $2,500, something like that. So yeah. Yeah, the ultimate disco sample. That's like a library that Oliver, the producer, had for years, and that's the pack that I was talking about. I got that from a friend in LA so many years ago, and I've had it since, but I didn't know it was Oliver's until he told me. What do you think about crack plugins? Guys, you're spoiling all of the topics that I'm talking about in my next YouTube videos. So, but yeah. I mean, I don't like the mindset about cracking plugins. I understand that some people might not have the money to buy plugins. I mean, we've all been there at some point, you know, not being able to afford some plugins that we need, but I don't like the mindset about, I don't see it like if I'm using a crack plugin, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm a professional, you know? I feel like I'm a wannabe producer. But yeah, that's just a thought. I purchased your studio course. Thank you so much, Valentina. Thank you so much. And I must say, it was so worth it. Guys, listen, everybody listen. It was so worth it. You're great at teaching and explaining, so thank you. Thank you. So glad. I'm so glad that you liked it. I put a lot of effort into that. Like I spent more than a month. No more. Like probably 2 months working on that class. And I'm actually thinking of dropping another one. before the end of 2025. Let's just say that, because I still don't know when I will be able to shoot it. It's gonna take a lot of time, but I think I'm gonna drop a new masterclass by the end of the year. You are amazing, man. Great job. Thank you so much. Do it whenever you feel like doing it. No pressure. Advice on... Oh, it's 10 p.m. I'm gonna open one of my remakes in a second, so you can ask me... Oh, sorry. You can ask me stuff about the remakes in, like, you know, a little bit more detail. Advice on beginners first learning and how you would start. Just watch my video next week. I can't just say everything that I'm gonna say in that video, you know? So you're getting hints now, but I like to see that a lot of these questions will be answered in my next video. So technically that video should resonate with many of you. What's your tips for prep ahead of a writing camp? Ooh, I love this question. I love this question. Hello Giovanni, love your content. Recently I bought a Shure mic. It sounds good, but far from pro. Even after applying some good tips, techniques. Any advice to be able to achieve that professional level? Well, first of all, I don't know which mic it is. If it's this mic, this sounds good. Like you don't really need to apply that much processing to this mic. I would just like put probably some EQ, you know, some more air compression maybe, but like Crack VST is a tool for beginners. As you grow, you invest. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Dude, I don't even have the money to buy an electric guitar. It's fine. I mean, you don't have to buy all at once. Like I said, we've all been there. So start with the free. Start with the free. For versatility, is Fender Strat or Epiphone? I'm always for Fender, so I'm a little bit biased. So mostly dark R&B. Thank you for the response. I think you're gonna be fine with a Strat. Like the Strat allows you to do anything. I haven't actually, like, if I have to be honest with you, I haven't played that Epiphone that you're talking about, so I don't really know. But have you ever tried to produce your own music in DAWs other than Ableton, like FL Studio, Logic Pro? Yes, I've used Logic. I think I produced like a couple of tracks on Logic, but like many years ago. I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. I can use Logic, like I know how it works. I'm just slow, and so I don't like being slow. I like to be fast when I'm working. So that's it. FL Studio, I've never opened it. I'm gonna make a video on YouTube where I'm probably gonna open FL Studio for the first time and try to make a beat. Do you want to see that? Do you guys want to see that? Like me opening FL Studio and like having no idea what's happening. I never understood like what the hell is happening with all of those automations. I don't know. Where do I find your lessons? If you go in any of my videos on YouTube and read the description, I think the first or like the second line of the description, there's a link to my course. So you are gonna find that in the description of each one of my videos. Actually, maybe I can, let me see if I can link it. I think I should be able to do it. Can I post links, or am I gonna be banned from my own live? Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna pin the comment so you guys can check it out whenever you whenever you're ready. I'm about to buy all your courses if you listen to our songs for once. Guys, I'm not gonna listen to the songs tonight because this is not the topic of this live. But like I said, I need to find a way. Like maybe I should like organize like a Dropbox. I should make a Dropbox and you guys can like submit into the Dropbox, or maybe just like even in Discord. So yeah. It's only $100. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. I actually, when I made that studio, wanted like to make it way more expensive, but I was like, let's try to keep it pretty affordable. Especially like it's 10 hours, so like it's a long class, and even if it's long, I just wanted to try to keep it as affordable as possible, you know. Okay, last question, and then I'm gonna open the session. Yeah, I'm coming, Music Mania. As an independent artist, what should I focus on? Can I do everything in MIDI, or will I need organic instruments? How did you learn to produce a track from scratch alone? I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing everything in MIDI because it limits you, but you don't have to learn everything at once. So you can start with MIDI, but then eventually I would always suggest maybe, you know, integrating some more organic instruments. Yes, for sure. Why not? What's your Discord? Can you put a link to it in the chat? Maybe. Hang on a second. I need to find it, but I can. Let me see. I don't know if this works, but that's the Discord. Favorite reverb plugins? Any reverb tricks you would be willing to give? It really depends on, like, probably if I had to say like Valhalla reverbs, those are like super broad. You can do anything with those reverbs, and so those are probably like my favorite reverbs. But then it depends, because like for vocals, sometimes I just use different, you know, reverbs just for vocals, or like for specific things. So yeah, it depends. Okay guys, so let me just pause the music for a second. I opened the Not Like Us remake. That's pretty simple. It's like 10 tracks. So let me show it to you guys. You should be able to see it. All right. So I'm gonna read the chat from this other computer now. Yo, Simon in the chat. Let's go, brother. Let's go. All right, so this is the remake, the Not Like Us. Can you guys hear it? No, I'm not gonna open Espresso. That's a huge project, so I'm gonna show you this one and Die With A Smile. Espresso, we're gonna do that another night because that's a huge project, and I gotta check it. I'm not even sure it's gonna open because I updated like a lot of plugins, and so some of them might, you know, not work. So aside from the acapella, just a couple of things that I think are interesting about this remake after I had a sip of my beer. Master on the beat. Yeah. So thoughts on Puig Tech? Yes, that's great. Like you can totally use that instead of using, I have it here. See, these four. You can totally use it because it's a great alternative to the UAD one. Like if you just try it on this, for example. This is for mids. It's not like this is probably the one that everybody knows, this one. But these two together are definitely great options. So like just a classic boost 12K. I don't know if you guys are listening from like headphones or anything, but like this works really well. Also, one thing that you can do with the Pultec, for example, it's something that I haven't done on this one, but definitely you can try to use the Pultec on 808s. I already have Gain Station here doing that, so I don't really need it for this specific 808. But if I deactivate this, for example, let me just deactivate these plugins. One cool thing that you can do, this is the 808 with nothing on it, So like if you put this to like 60 or even 100, like it depends on the 808, and you can like, oh yes. Now you gotta pay attention a little bit to the output because we're clipping badly, but this is something that with like 808s, this works so well. Like the Pultec is amazing. It's a great hack. But in this case, I used different plugins. So yeah, gonna show you a couple things here. The B&W Drifter is asking, what are you doing right now? I'm just showing my latest remake that I put on Instagram a couple of days ago. This video went super viral, and so I just wanted to show a couple of things that I couldn't show on Instagram because that video was only 60 seconds. It was so short, and so but there are a couple of things that are interesting. So, for example, definitely, I need to give a big shout out both to this plugin, the Brainworks subfilter, and this one. This is like the newest plugin from Safari Pedals. These two plugins basically do the same thing. I was really undecided between one or the other. So what I was trying to achieve was like having a little bit of a deeper bass, especially with this 808. The problem was that this was a sample, okay? So this is a sample. It sounds good when, let me show you the MIDI for a second. So it sounds good when I'm playing the C, so this note. Okay, but then as you start playing these notes that are a little bit, further away from the root note, so I don't know if you're listening with headphones, but you can definitely hear that the sound is getting thinner. Like it doesn't have that low end that has down here. And so I wanted to make sure that the low end was a little bit more consistent, And so this plugin is so good at doing that. Basically what it does, you have an input and output, and then you can increase the low end in a specific like frequency. In this case, it was 35 hertz. And yeah, I just pushed it a little bit, and I don't know. I hope you guys have headphones to appreciate this. So without it, sorry, let me solo. And with it, this is insane. I love it. Like it's making the 808 round super dark, but like the low end is so satisfying now. So yeah, very, very cool. Do you do this for a living? Yes, of course I do. I can't stop using the Pultec low end trick. You don't have to stop. It's a great trick. Definitely keep doing that. Love from Ukraine. Thank you. Appreciate it. How much do you think remaking tracks from scratch improves your production? A lot. It's a great way to improve and to learn. So another big part of this sound is this plugin. This is super expensive. So this is very expensive. I recommend it if you have the money, but I don't even know how much it is. I don't remember. But so basically what this plugin is doing is something that you can achieve by using the Pultec, probably this plugin, probably some clipping, you know, because you also have a clipper here. And then here you have a pre, so basically anything that, you know, gives you a little bit more saturation in input. That's what this plugin does. So that's how I would try to get to this, because before it was sounding like that. There's a huge difference. Like, of course it's louder, but it's fuller, you know? And it's because like this bass is like really cranked up. And yeah, that's basically it. So this is very cool. Like an alternative to this plugin is this one. Like I said, this is from Safari Pedal. It does the same thing. It has a few more controls. It also has a drive, a punch control, which is very cool. You have a way of blending it in. This is basically like a dry wet signal. So sorry, let me move it. I'm not sure you guys can see it. Is this plugin made by NWA or is just Mike Dean? That's a good question. I think it's just Mike Dean. I might be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, this one, Bull Submachine, this is also very good. Listen to this. So without it, I love that it gets like darker and rounder, but like so subby. Very cool. And also, one thing that I quickly mentioned in that video is that when I have 808 and kick, sometimes I like to process them together. So I have this kick, nothing on this kick, to be honest, like a very stupid kick, you know, together with the 808. And so now grouping these two together and processing them together, like, I don't know, it gave, like, that was, you know, the cherry on top that was missing. And so in this case, this is a clipper. You can use any clipper. I use this one. I like it. So without it, it gets a little bit louder. But what I like about doing this is that it kind of blends the kick and the 808 together a little bit better, because I don't know, if I don't use this, it's like the kick gets lost a little bit. Like there's not enough space for the kick to come out, but at the same time I didn't want to use sidechain on the 808, you know. So I kind of came up with this idea, and I think this is pretty good. So even if we mute the sample, yeah. Okay, and K Rico is asking what standard Ableton Suite plugins are good. Many of them, I use many of them. Like all of these on top, I use them all the time. So EQ, Auto Pan, Auto Filter, Dynamics, all of these, compressor, gate. The glue compressor is great. Overdrive, very good. Pedal for like a different type of distortion. Roar, oh my god, this one is so freaking amazing. You can do anything with this plugin. Like if I put it on the 808, so many like types of different distortion, and my god, this is such a good plugin. You have tone control, like just, you know, turning two knobs and I have 10 different types of 808s. This is great. So yeah, I wanted to show you this. Then what else? Yeah, this is the hi-hat, nothing special, nothing's happening, just a little bit of drive here, but like nothing crazy. Cymbal, pretty stupid cymbal. The sample, yeah, I just added a little bit of reverb, you know, to make the sample a little bit more alive. And then on this one, so on this part, I just wanted this to sound a little bit more like it was coming from like an old record, you know, like it was sampled from an old vinyl. And so I used this plugin. You can use possibly like RC20 and like any other plugin that's giving you that, you know, lo-fi feeling. For some reason, I wanted to use this one. I like it. It has so many controls. There's a little bit of, you know, a little bit of filtering. Not much is happening, to be honest. And then I have this. This is interesting. This can give you like different speaker sounds, like it's going through a cell phone, you know, and like microphones, like all of these things. So Soviet tech. This is like very interesting stuff. And so, yeah, what was it? I don't remember now. General. It was general. Okay. It was something like that. So this plugin is very, very cool. Roar is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely great plugin. And then for the piano, keyscape, like super simple. I use this felt piano because I just needed, you know, that dark and spooky vibes. And so I think this sound was perfect for that. Okay, so I had a question before about my master. So I want to show you. Like in this case, my master is pretty unconventional. It's actually I've actually used the L2. Oh my god, guys! I forgot about this. I never used this plugin. Never. Like for some reason, when I remade this song, I was like, I feel like using like an old limiter, like one of those evergreen plugins. It doesn't even sound good. Like this is not a plugin that sounds good, but for some reason I was gravitating towards this. So yeah, like I said, very simple mastering. I just want, like, from the master, especially in this case, like this is not a record that's gonna come out. Like I'm not a mastering engineer, so I'm not looking to get a track that sounds incredibly loud or like to actually go through a proper mastering. I just want to hear pretty much like a good volume, like a good loudness, but without like going into the loudness war. Some compression, that's it, okay? So I use this, but we can obtain the same exact thing with this glue compressor, okay? I'm gonna show you how to set it like in 1 second. So, for example, let me deactivate this. Let's see what's happening here. When I play it, a little bit of compression, especially when kick and 808 are hitting. And as you can see, the compression is never going, like it's never more than 4 dB. Not even 4 dB. It's like 3.5 probably, something like that. So I always set my compressors this way for the master because this is like a good way to let the transients through, setting the release very short, the attack long, ratio 4, that's good. And then I just play with the threshold. Like I said, I don't want the compression to go over 3, 4, you know? So usually when you open it, it's like that. And then I start dialing this in. I could have gone a little bit stronger, probably, something like that. But I don't know. I didn't feel the need. And then I just gave a little bit of makeup because when you compress, usually you tend to lose a little bit of, you know, volume. That's it. And but yeah, you can do the exact same thing with this guy. So attack, release. And then I want to see some action here. Perfect. That's it. Let's make up a little bit for it. Pretty good. And then in this case, I went straight into a limiter. The L2. Like I said, I never use this, but whatever. For some reason, I use this. And let's see. See, when I use it, when I play it, there's a little bit of like gain reduction, but like 3 dBs tops. Very light, very light. So I don't want anything crazy, and I just use this as a, just to check my loudness. This is -11, possibly going closer to -10. This is great. Like, for what I need, this is great. Like, I don't need to go louder than this. So, yeah. And somebody was asking about my favorite plugins. I don't know if you guys are still here, but like, this is probably the list of my favorite plugins for each one of these sections, like for instruments, for dynamics, modulation, vocals, and like all of that. So, okay, I'm gonna open the other session in a second. So I'm gonna keep this one open in case you guys have more questions about this one, but this is pretty straightforward as I just demonstrated. And so let's go back to this view for a second, and then I'm gonna open the other session, the Die With A Smile one. So yeah, just a couple of minutes if you guys have more questions about what I just showed, to make sure we go through it before I close this session. So is it Peroni or Birra Moretti? Nope, it's Ichnusa. That's what I'm drinking. Sup. Prod, why not? Sup. Putting great plugins aside, I feel 90% are not necessary if you understand fundamentals of sound and DAW tools. Yes and no. I mean, maybe not fundamentals, but like, I think you will always need some plugins. You wanna go for some specific sounds and stuff like that. So for sure you're gonna need some specific plugins, but yeah, like, you have to be able to make a song out of the stock plugins if you need it. So definitely. The God Particle, yes, I have that. How are you doing? Doing pretty good. Thank you. Can you talk about what would be a standard template for a song with standard plugins? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean standard plugins and like standard template? I usually start from like a blank session. I don't use templates. How did you get your hands on a Juno? I bought it. If you go online and you pay, you will be able to get your hands on one. Can you give some tips on making pianos sound loud and full? Feels like my pianos are never really as beautiful and big as I want them. Well, my first tip would be layering pianos, for sure. Try to layer your piano, like with different pianos. Like, find the bright piano, find a little bit more of a darker piano, and maybe layer 2, 3 together. They have to do the exact same thing, but you try to cover different parts of the spectrum, so maybe like a brighter one, like one that covers a little bit better the mids, and one that's like darker, and that's gonna help. And then you compress them all together. That should give you a pretty good result. Which free reverb plugins would you recommend? I'm gonna show you right now. This one is one of my favorite free reverbs. Oh my god, where is it? Oh yeah, down here. There we go. So this one right here, I'm gonna put it on this is from Yuhi, and it's free. So let me deactivate this, just so you know how it sounds. You have let me open the presets. You have like chambers, rooms, halls, cathedrals, like this is like such a good reverb. The sound of this is insane. This is insane. Like, it's so good. I don't even know how this reverb can be free, because like it sounds absolutely insane. So I recommend that. Okay. So, oh, I wasn't showing. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Sorry. So you heard the sound of it, but you haven't seen it. So let me show you again. The reverb that I was talking about is Protoverb by Yuhi. And I was just playing through some of these presets. Some of these. You have so many. So yeah, this is the one that I recommend. Sorry for repeating myself. As an Italian, do you have an opinion of Tommy Cash's espresso macchiato? I'm not really sure what you're talking about, so I don't have an opinion on that. I'm sorry. Proud Why Not is asking if I pan them, the pianos. Not necessarily, or maybe like very slightly, but no. So yeah, don't feel the need to pan the pianos if you're layering them. Not necessary. It's not like the vocals. Like if you're stacking vocals, that's a different story, but that's a different effect that you're going for. Like if you're stacking vocals, you want maybe like a lead vocal down the middle, and then you want the wide vocals, and so that's why you're panning them, but not for layering pianos. So yeah. Okay, I'm opening the Die With A Smile remake because I don't think you guys have more questions about this one. I've seen lots of tutorials with people using same plugins on drums groups, instrument group, and so on. For instance, I've noticed they use glue compressor only on groups and not on individual tracks. Yes, because the glue compressor tends to be a little bit better for like gluing sounds, and so that's probably the reason. But you can also use it like on individual tracks if you want to. Like there's no rules. Also, a good thing that you can do with the glue compressor is also using it for soft clipping. I made a video about that. Check out the video about drums that knock. It's like I did it like a couple months ago on my YouTube channel. If you watch that, I explained that very well. So watch that. Okay. All right, now this is a little bit more complicated. All right, guys, so there's a lot to go through here. Okay, actually, before I start with something, somebody write in the chat. I'm talking about Die With A Smile, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so tell me if there is something specific that you want to see about this remake, like drums, guitars, keys, bass, like anything, we're gonna start from some of these and I can show you a little bit more in detail. Oh, the dog just woke up. How did you learn piano? I just started like taking songs that I liked, and little by little, I started like figuring out the chords, and from that, like learning songs that you like, that helps you a lot. I'm hungry now. Yeah, I get that. I'm actually thirsty. I would like to get another one. Okay, so what should we start from? Let's start from the drums. So let's see what's in this group, like a lot of stuff. So we're gonna start from the chorus, and these are the drums. Oh, so good. Okay, so basically, most of these drums are coming from Addictive Drums. All of this, okay. So this is, I think you guys have seen this in the remake. If you watch the video. So this is the preset, and then I kind of tweaked some of these sounds, and the difficult part actually was getting this pattern, because the drums are always changing in the song, and so it was kind of hard to like replicate this pattern exactly, but I think I got it. Very cool. So let's see what's cool about these drums. First of all, I also used, I don't know if I showed this in the video, because maybe there wasn't not enough time. I might have cut this part. But I layered these snares that I recorded myself in LA in the studio. Oh yeah, the dog really woke up. He might want to appear. So, like these two snares, these are like real snares that I played with my very poor drum technique, and then I just put a bunch of plugins on these snares to make them sound good. Oh, this is like some stupid EQ, but I love this one. I love this plugin, like punchy drum and just a little bit of saturation coming from this oxide. So these snares are only complementing the main snare of the drums. I really wanted a little bit more crunch, so yeah, that's the reason for this. Yeah, some like cymbals, some layering, nothing special, tambourine going. I can't stress enough, like these plugins, like the kilohertz, these are so good, guys, and these are free, so make sure to get these. So yeah, these are the drums basically, and then they're all going through a little bit of processing that I already showed in the video. But yeah, very interesting, I think, is the sound of this reverb. This is like, I don't know, this reverb really brings the drums in the 70s. I love this one. This is from IK Multimedia. Very cool, very cool. I highly recommend this, especially for drums. For some reason, I love using this reverb on drums. So yeah, that's very cool. But yeah, I think now the most interesting part about this whole remake are the guitars. There are so many layers. So we have these guitars that are playing. Oh, this is not active. This is like the intro. And like, I think this is also something that I said in the video, but I can't stress enough about the importance of, in a song like this, to really like keep it real. So as you can see, this is coming from take 29, take 27, take 14, take 3, take 4. These are all different takes, and so it never sounds like a loop, you know? It always sounds like it's being played live. Can you do an A-B with and without the sunset verb? Yes, it's very, very subtle. So if you don't have headphones, you might not even hear it, but I love that it brings it into a room. So without it, the drums sound like that. And with it, they sound like this. It's a very, very small room. That's the kind of reverb that I was going for. But anyway, going back to the guitars. So I have this one, which is like not highly processed. Like the main thing about this is the spring reverb. But if I deactivate this guitar rig, the main sound was coming from me recording it already through an amp. See, I don't even have guitar rig active here. And it's already sounding pretty close. But then with this, my God, this reverb is insanely good. And again, it's only the spring reverb from guitar rig. That's just what it is. Sounds amazing. So yeah, and basically these guitars just play throughout the song, the different chords. So here we have different chords. Yeah, so good. Amazing. And then we move on to these guitars, which are basically just strumming once, the chords in the verse and the pre. So someone was asking about panning, right? This is a good example. So in this specific case, I went for panning because what I wanted, like, think about this. Like in this case, we had one guitar that was down the middle, and it's this one, the main guitar, okay? This is in the mix, down the middle, and then the reverb, of course, like it's making it wider, but this guitar is like in the middle. And then we have these, which are just supporting that guitar. So they don't need to be in the middle. Actually, what you want from these guitars is a little bit more vibe. Like they have to like put you into that vibe, like into an atmosphere, you know? And so you want these chords to be wide, spread out, you know? So when you play them together, very cool. So you have these, and then you have this one down the middle. And again, you know, very cool. Very cool effect. And, oh yeah. So here in the chorus, I just wanted to keep the tail of these guitars pretty long. And so I just basically duplicated the tracks so that I could, you know, fade out these tails. So, you know, they kind of overlap a little bit. That's the effect that I was going for. Let me see. Is there any percussion loop libraries that you recommend? Those you layer underneath drums to give some movement. I see I lack on having those. I mean, I don't think you need to go for like a specific library, especially if it's something that you put underneath. Like they're not crucial layers. It's just supporting stuff, you know? So I don't know, go on Splice and like try to find the tambourine. Like in this case, in the drums, I had, you know, this tambourine, nothing special, like a very stupid sounding tambourine. You can find so many of these. It doesn't have to come from a specific pack. I can't remember when was the last time I hung on a stream for this long. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He woke up. He doesn't understand because I don't speak in English with him. He only speaks Italian, so... Bruno? No, actually no. He went back to bed. So yeah, we have these guitars, but then the very interesting part comes a little bit later here. So these are probably my favorite layers of maybe the whole song. Listen to this. Oh, wow. Amazing. These sound so good. So these guitars basically are just very distorted guitars. I found this preset actually. I don't even think I tweaked it. Yeah, I don't think I tweaked it. Yeah, I again, like I said before, from these guitars, I just wanted to have that, you know, super wide effect. I already had enough happening in the middle. I had this one. I had another one, which I actually layered only in the chorus, which is doing the same thing, but with a different sound, a little more distorted. And this is, again, down the middle. So I already have these. And then I wanted to have these two pretty wide, but definitely helping out, you know? Also because these are playing the main riff of the chorus, besides the vocals, of course. But like, thank you, Simon. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Benny boy. And so yeah, we have these, and oh, there's nothing on this group. Okay, so actually these guitars are pretty basic, and this is something that I said also in the video. These guitars, I forgot to tune my guitar before recording. Jesus, what a mistake. So what I did, I just put a waves tune on the track. I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can do this also with instruments. You don't need to, like sometimes if you have an instrument, of course it has to be monophonic. You can't do that with the piano unless you play one note at a time with the piano. But in this case, I was playing one note at a time. And so in this case, I could put the waves tune on a guitar. This is helping, you know, keeping the notes pretty close to what they should have been. Dove hai studiato musica? The coolest is asking, where did I study music? I actually learned by myself. You won't believe this, but yeah, I learned. I'm self-taught. So yeah, these guitars. And then we have, towards the end, we have this solo, which is, oh my God, so good. So what's happening here is that in this bridge, you kind of need to build the tension. And so what they did, instead of only having the piano playing, you know, which is down here, I have 2 tracks of piano. We're gonna get to that. Instead of only having that, since we're going into the next section, which is a solo, this is a smart technique that you guys can try to use sometimes. You're leading up to a section, start like introducing that section a little bit earlier. In this case, they did it with this. Like they're playing the same solo that they're gonna play in a second in this section right here, but they're doing it an octave up, and there's a filter on this. So like you start to hear it, but it's not clear what's happening because it's filtered, you know? But then you're like, oh, something's coming, you know? And this is so cool. It's building the tension. And then you get to this part and the real solo. And you hear that melody again. My God, so good. But now you hear it with like the full sound, you know? So this is such a smart technique that you can use in general, not only for like guitars, but like this is something that I love to do, to like introduce elements little by little with like filtering, especially. There's also some reverb here to keep it spacious, you know. What else? Let me see. Then we're going into this. Oh, okay. So here at the end, we have a couple of chords that I showed very quickly in the video. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, it's not talent, it's hard work. It's also talent, sorry. But yeah, I wanna be a little bit, a little bit cocky. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's also talent. Anyway, if you take a look at this, we have a bunch of new chords. This one. And also, let me actually play it together with the bass, because it makes more sense to listen to this together with the bass. These chords, oh wow. Because, you know, after like 4 minutes or like 3 minutes, I don't know, but like you get to this point of the song and like you've heard this chorus so many times, it just makes no sense to keep playing the same chords over and over. Like you get bored of it. And so at the very end, they introduce like 2 chords that you've never heard, the 2 dominant chords that give you this sense of like, oh my God, what did just happen, you know? So you get here and then you're like, oh, what is this? And then you're like, oh, again? You know, you have this feeling, this is so smart. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are like familiar with like music theory and stuff like that, but if you are, definitely play with chords a little bit, you know? Sometimes like throw in a chord that people have not heard yet, maybe just once, but like, you know, it's gonna catch people's attention. So that's very cool. What else? I want to show you definitely the bass. Let me read here. What do you think about a new Gaga song? I don't love it. Like, to be honest with you, I don't like. It's not bad, but it's not something that I want to listen to. I don't know. Like, I can see like the attempt to go back to like the old Lady Gaga, and that's cool for sure. I just don't think that song is as good as the, you know, the old one, like the old songs. So, but yeah, I mean, that's definitely like a cool approach, especially production wise. That's definitely new, like not new, but it's something that we haven't heard for so long. So, just got into electronic music production, been producing for some years, but more on the reggaeton trap side. Are there any tips for starting producers in terms of getting music out in the world? Well, I think this is like the best time for putting the songs out in the world. So again, I suggest that you watch my next video that's coming out next week, possibly Monday, maybe Tuesday. Okay, I'm gonna talk about most of these things. I'm gonna talk about like most of the questions that you guys had tonight, especially about like the approach. Let me go back to this view for a second. Thank you for the sub. What was I saying? Oh yeah, in my next video that's coming out early next week, I'm gonna talk about most of these questions about that you guys had, especially the questions about like how to approach the business and like how to actually, you know, try to transform this into a job. And so I think like the best thing that you can do is try to put out not only the music but also the journey. You know what I'm doing here, like with my music and with my journey, you have to do the same. So like, I don't know, try to do it on Instagram, try to do it on TikTok. Like you make a beat, you make, I don't know, anything you make, try to spread it with the word, you know. And yeah, that's the best way of like getting your music out in the world. And believe it or not, that's also the best way for you to find people, you know, that are gonna resonate with your music. So yeah. Okay, let me go back to the remake for a second, and then I think we're gonna end the stream in like 15-20 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, so a couple more things that I might want to show you. Oh, right, these layers. So sometimes in a song, this is like a general tip that I think can be super useful to many of you. If you have a melody, especially like a vocal melody, there might be a way for you to enhance that melody, you know, with an instrument. And so in this case, that's exactly what they did. So if I just play the whole thing, you're barely gonna hear this. Maybe I mixed it a little bit too quiet, but in general, I think this is a great idea. If you have a vocal melody, you can try to, you know, use parts of that melody and replicate that with an instrument. You know, maybe not on top of the solo. That's not the best part for playing this, but let me put it loud. These are the exact notes that they are singing. You know? Very good technique. This is like a general concept that I love to apply. You know? So, oh, I definitely need to show you these vocal effects. Have you guys watched the video? Because if you guys have watched the video, I talked briefly about how I got this drone effect. And I want to show you again a little bit more in detail. This is a very cool thing. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just that it just feels like such a different world from the genres I'm used to. Well, I don't like I don't really understand what you mean. Like trap and reggaeton, like these are like super trending genres, you know? So I don't see the problem, to be honest. Like you could be, I don't know, you could be making a 15-20 second video. It doesn't need to be long, you know, about you just noodling around and like playing a little melody with an interesting sound over a beat. And maybe you don't even have to show your face. I don't know, it could be you showing your progress, showing like that you're learning something, showing that, I don't know, maybe you're collaborating with like an artist from your area, trying to, I don't know, like anything, but try to not only put the music out, but you gotta make people care about who you are and what you're doing. People have to relate to what you do. If that makes sense. That drone effect is so cool. It is. Are you making money from doing remakes? Not really, not much. How does it work with monetization? That's the problem, because most of the videos get demonetized because they think it's the actual song. And so most of the videos, like this one is still monetizing, but like The Weeknd, Espresso would have made money, dude. That's like 250k views. That video demonetized. So yeah, it's a shame. I made a little bit of money until they got it, and then, you know, that's it. Do you ever get copyright strikes? Not strikes. Like the strikes are when the video gets taken down, but they just get demonetized. They allow you to use the music, but yeah. Die with a Smile is like one of your best remakes. I've learned a lot. That's very, very nicely here. Amazing. What can you recommend to add spice to a chord progression other than adding nines or sevens? Well, I mean, you don't need, again, to like reinvent the wheel, and don't feel the need to always use nines and sevens in every chord, you know? It could also be, let's say that you have a 4-chord progression. Maybe you start with like just a triad, and then maybe you go to a 7th chord, and then maybe you go to like a, I don't know, a 9th chord, and then you go to a suspended chord, and maybe you go back to a triad again. Like that doesn't necessarily have to be complex, you know? But yeah, you can go for suspended chords. You can go for like a chord and then changing its bass. That's gonna give you like different vibes. So it's better if you make it sound not too accurate. Yeah, it would be. It would be, definitely, because they wouldn't, you know, recognize the song. But that's the point of these videos, like making it as accurate as possible. So yeah. Would you say it's better to go independent or through a publishing? Okay, so I'm not sure this is the right terminology. What do you mean? Like, publishing is not the issue. Like, maybe you're talking about record labels, but it's a different story. Like record labels are one thing, publishers are a different thing. So if you mean like for releasing your own music as an artist, definitely you can do it as an independent. Like, there's proof of that. Like, so many people are making great music and it's going great as independents. But you know, there's no rule. Like, if you have a good offer, if you have like good upfront money that's gonna allow you to like invest in marketing and stuff like that, maybe you should consider it. I don't know. Okay, so let me show you this. I want to show you the bass and this thing. So let's start from the bass. I don't even remember. Okay, so on the track, I have nothing. That's just a lot of comping. Oh no, actually not. These are all coming from take 10, but I probably needed to have like a little bit of a better timing, and so I just cut it and, you know, did all of that. But these are coming from take 5, take 17, take 26. Oh my God. I think like I wasn't able probably to get the right feeling on this, and so I played it 26 times before I got it. Nice, but I got it. And so yeah, this bass is going through a bunch of things. So I have guitar rig, very simple. This is doing nothing. This is basically like just a little bit of basic compression, but like nothing crazy without it and with it. So yeah, nothing crazy. And then I have the decapitator, which is giving it that nice crunch. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but if you have good headphones, you're definitely gonna hear this. Like, the effect that I'm going for is this. But not that much, you know? And so I got it like around 4. I think I could have gone a little bit dirtier maybe, but yeah, this is what I got. And for some reason, like, this frequency was bothering me. Okay, yeah, so this frequency is sounding like very electric to me. Like, I don't know, it's almost like an electric guitar. And so yeah, I don't know, I got rid of it. And then I probably wanted a little bit more of this like saturation. So this is a very good plugin that I love when I just need a little bit more, you know? I don't like to overuse this, but like low mix, a little bit of heat, and see, it's not like, not doing much, but I love the sound of it. So yeah, something like that. So yeah, the bass is actually pretty clean. Like there's not much happening. And also, it can be pretty clean because the drums are like real drums, and so you don't need like a super heavy bass. Like with real drums, you have so much more space for the other instruments. So what do you think of APT? Very good song. Like initially I listened to it and I was like, what the hell is this? And then, you know, the more you listen to it, the more you're like, oh, this is good. And also, I don't know if you guys know the story, like what the song is about, like the drinking game. But when I heard Amy Allen talk about how they came up with the concept, I was like, oh, that's smart. Like that's very, very smart. And so I liked the song more after knowing where it was coming from. Oh, I actually had a temporary bass here. Probably before recording the real bass, I got the bass line down with Trillion, like just a basic old school sound, you know. And I mean, probably this one could have done the job. Like it's Trillion is sounding very good, so you know. Pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, I had this bass, but then yeah, didn't use that. No, come on. Guys, don't crack plugins. Don't. Steph, hey, you don't know how much I wanted to hear your remake of this song, and I was so happy when I saw you finally did it. Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah, I really wanted to do this. It was challenging but worth it. If you don't want to spend money on different plugins, do you think it's possible to create a good beat with the default? Absolutely. I've done it so many times. You know how many times like I'm in bed and like I don't have the plugins, I don't have like the iLock, I don't have all of the things, and I just use the stock plugins, and you know, I cook up a quick idea. Absolutely, you can do it. You should do it. That's also a very good challenge. You know, when you have so many plugins like I do, sometimes it's just better to forget about all these and open like an analog from Ableton and make it work. Really good free plugins you would recommend? I have a video about that. Make sure to check it out. Go on my YouTube, okay? Scroll down because the video is a little bit old. I think it's from last year, so you're gonna find it. It's like my top 5 free plugins. And also, in that video, I haven't talked about these, the kilohertz, you know, all of these plugins, the kilohertz, these are all free. Definitely get those. Big fan from Portugal. Nice. I've never been there actually, but yeah, that's a great place. Okay, let me show you this drone. So basically we have these vocals in the background, in the verse, and yeah, not in the chorus, but in the verses to make it like a little bit more vibey. And so they have these vocals that I tried to remake with some effects. And so it sounds like this. This is the first one. So this sounds absolutely horrible if I disable all of my plugins, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it. I'm brave enough to play you the dry version of this. Oh, actually, this is not dry. What? Oh, okay, because I have more reverb on the groove. Oh my God. Okay, so this should be dry. Okay, that was me. Okay, but in my head, I already knew what this was going to become. And so, first of all, I wanted some tuning. And then, you know, some CLA vocals, very basic, just for some compression and having a little bit more high end. And now we have this, which sounds a little bit better. And then I just wanted to play a little bit with the formant and make it a little bit more, a little more like that. So that's what I did. You know, you could have done it also with, since we're talking about free and stock plugins, you could have done it with the, where is it? auto shift from Ableton. Okay, so if I disable this, I don't want any tuning, 0%, but I can play with the format. Okay, stock plugins, see? Anyway, I did it with Alter Boy. And then, yeah, basic EQing, some low cut, filtering. Okay, now it was time for adding some space, and so I went for this Valhalla Vintage Reverb, 72%, like long decay. And we're getting there, you know? And if you listen to the song carefully, you're gonna hear that this sound is like delayed. It's like, so I wanted that effect, you know, delay in eighth. Amazing. Very cool. And so basically I did the same thing for this one here. You can see same processing for this one, but I'm just singing a different note. Okay. And then before I show you how to get the drone, let me see, what do you recommend to start doing if you want to start producing with Ableton, like remakes or creating a beat? I don't know, both, definitely both. Like try to, maybe not, don't try to do like full remakes. Try to identify one thing, like, I don't know, try to go close, like get close to the bass sound, to get close to like a synth, like start from one thing. And also, yes, of course, after you do that, try to also like remember what you did and apply these things in your new beats. But yeah, going back to this, so this is gonna be fun. Let's see, what is this? Okay, so I assume that you guys know how to create like a reverse vocal effect. Do you guys? Chat? Yes or no? Do you know how to create a reverse vocal? Not vocal, like a reverse effect of like any instrument. But even if you don't, I'm about to show you right now. So basically what I did was this. I wanted to have an effect like a vocal that was doing, you know, so like reverse, which is this one right here. But to get to this, I recorded one note, okay, of myself. I'm gonna turn off the reverb, and it was sounding like this. Okay, if I extend this, oh, there's more stuff here, but let's see. Yeah, that's what I recorded. So, okay, that's me singing. I just put a like a pretty strong tuning to make sure that the note was solid. Again, CLA vocals. Okay, second step, you apply, hang on a second. Someone is texting me on Instagram. Okay. So after doing this, I apply the reverb, and now we have a long tail. Okay. So now that we have this, think about this. If I create a new track, I can freeze this. Okay. Hang on a second, let it do its thing. So this long note that we have now, if I bring it down to this track and now we have it in audio, it's gonna sound like this. Okay, exactly the same thing, but now we have it in audio. And the advantage of having this in audio is that now, if I cut it, I move it to where I want to, okay? And then I can press R on Ableton, or maybe you can also do this, I don't know. No, but you can do it from inside here. Okay, reverse, okay? And look at what happens. Now you have this sound, but it's reversed. And so when you play it, listen. Okay, pretty cool. So now that's it. That's basically what I needed. And so I can decide where I want to cut it, where I want to finish, you know, my effect, and like how long I want it. And I can fade it in. and that's it. And you have your reverse vocal, which is basically the same thing that I did here, you know. And after doing this, I also applied a little bit of alter boy because I wanted, again, this to sound a little bit more like with a darker format, a little bit of auto pan to have some movement, you know, and some reverb. So, oops, and some reverb. So it has a little bit of a tail, you know, and yeah, that's how you get this effect. Why won't you start like a YouTube membership program, and those who would join the membership can get your remakes or other stuff? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if like YouTube is the best way to do memberships at the moment. I'm not sure, to be honest. But that's something that I'm considering, yes. Does it change when you do it with a cymbal? No, exact same thing. You can do the exact same thing with a cymbal. You take a cymbal, it does tsh, you put a little bit of a reverb so you have a longer tail, bounce it, reverse it, and then it does shh, and then it's great. Did you remake The Boy Is Mine? No, I haven't. I love that song, but that production is so freaking difficult. Like, if I have to be honest, that's like a remake that would be crazy challenging for me. So at the moment, I don't really have the time to do that. Stems and drum kits from the remake would be pretty cool. Okay, so actually, for those still here, I'm gonna show you that I was about to drop this Bad Habit, the remakes, but then I didn't. Like, I decided not to drop it because I don't want any trouble, you know, with like some of these samples coming from, you know, the songs, and like, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna release these, but these are all of the, you know, loops like from Greedy, stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I will change my mind. Maybe I will drop these eventually, but for now I decided not to do it because, you know, the thing is, I'm working with some of these people like in the industry that made these songs, and so I have to be a little bit careful. Like, I don't want to, like, you know, create tensions with some of the people in the industry just for like selling a pack, like, which I don't really care about. So I like to show you guys these things, but I have to be maybe a little bit mindful of these things. Lars, hi man. Okay, so final thing, how did I get this drone? So this drone, as you can see, is taking its input from track Hey, and the track Hey is this group right here. So I was able to get this drone, like I showed you in the video, by playing with this feedback. The cool thing about this delay is that you can set the feedback to over 100%. And when you do this, like, the sound is gonna keep playing forever. So let me show you. If I just record this, I'm basically recording whatever is playing on this Hey track, which is, in this case, this little sample, okay? So when I record, and then I start playing with the feedback, look at this track. Can you hear? And this is all coming from me playing with this feedback. Such an amazing effect, so simple, you know? This is only coming from this track, this group actually, which has the delay on it, and then it's feeding the signal into this track, you know, and I did this by, this is the input, okay, the input of a track, and you just go here, you find your track, and you select the track you want to use the input from. In this case, it's this one. And when you record, it's going to record whatever this track is playing, but then if you just play with the parameters, you can obtain crazy effects like these. And this is like super interesting because you can have these like weird drones you know? Very cool. Yeah. All right, guys. So I think I'm just gonna go like for 5 more minutes on this view to answer like a couple more questions, and then I'm out because I'm kind of tired, to be honest. So, how to fill a song if it sounds empty, like it lacks something but you don't know what it is? Try to add like a pad, maybe like a dark pad that you can't really hear because it's like filter, but it's actually helping making the song bigger. Maybe adding more layers of some, I don't know, maybe you have like a synth, so you can try to layer it with another synth. That's usually the way. And if it's like drums, you can do the same thing for drums, like adding more layers, like, I don't know, like tambourines, shakers, more stuff that makes it a little bit more full. What's the best thing you can do to make something vibey like that? That's such a broad question. I don't know. Like, honestly, like most of the times, if you go for like reverb and delay, that's gonna give you that kind of feeling. Just want to thank you. You're helping me a lot. I'm very glad to hear this. Very glad. Amazing. I tried to get that effect forever without automation. I mean, you can. You probably can, but this was like the first way that I came up with, and I think it's actually a pretty interesting way to do it. So yeah, that's how I did it. Bad Happy, what's up? Love your content. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. How did you get industry connections outside of Italy? Just by making the music, you know. And I know this answer is gonna sound obvious, but it's the truth. Like, I started making music. I was making electronic music in the beginning, and so I started making music in my bedroom. In my case, since I was making electronic music and I was trying to release my music as an artist, as a DJ, I was sending the demos to the labels. But it was different times, you know, like 10 years ago when I was doing that, in like 2014, it was different. Like, not many people had the emails of these A&Rs from the labels. And so I remember like going to Amsterdam to like meet these A&Rs like during the electronic week in Amsterdam, electronic music week in Amsterdam. And so that's where I went there to meet some of these A&Rs. Some of them gave me their email. I sent some of my demos to some of these A&Rs, and then eventually some of these got signed. So my music, you know, started being played around the world from by huge DJs like Calvin Harris and like David Guetta and Hardwell, like Diplo, so many. And so, you know, my name was like getting out there a little bit more. And from there, I also started like meeting a lot of other people that were making the same music that I was making. And so it's all about like starting, you know. I know it sounds cliche, but it's all about like starting. Like, put your music out. Start putting your music out. Maybe nothing is gonna happen at first, but like keep going. You're gonna meet other people, and then, you know, little by little, you start like connecting with people. I'm still doing this. Like, it's not like it's not like I stopped. Like, I'm still trying to make new connections. And like I said it earlier in the stream, like I went to London 2 weeks ago for this reason. Like, I went there like to like meet new people and keep working with some people that I knew already and stuff like that. So Love your channel, taught me a lot about music. Um, what do you mean? Like, would you say that would still be how it goes today? Like, what part of what I said? Like, because a lot of things have changed in the past 10 years. What was your reaction when you found out they used the guitar loop in Espresso while you created? Oh, it was fun. It was fun because I think it was one of the first comments that I got. Like, I uploaded the video, okay, and then like within the first hour or like the first 2 hours, someone left a comment that was like, dude, like this is coming from a sample, and like, and I think they also wrote the name of the sample. So I was like, no, no, please. So I went like on my Oliver Packs and I was like, no, it can't be right. I played it and I was like, no, I'm so dumb. But actually, see, that was actually a good thing, because if I knew it, I wouldn't have gone through actually the process of trying to understand like what's in that sample. I would have used that sample probably. So yeah. Is Out of Time still your favorite The Weeknd song? Maybe, together with Die For You, probably. If I Feel It Coming, those three are like very close. You said it was different times back then. It was 10 years ago. Yes, yes. I mean, it was different times, especially because like, if I have to think about, if I'm thinking about the way I approach these people, like the A&Rs from the labels and stuff like that, you can probably try to do the same thing today. But today, a lot more people have access to these emails. So many more people are sending demos. And I think, to be honest with you, most of the times they're not even listening. So back then, when I was sending demos, yeah, not I have to be honest, not all the times I was getting responses, not all the times they were listening to the demos, but most of the times. Now I think like they get so many, they just can't. So yeah, in that sense, it's a little bit more difficult. Also, Instagram made it easy for you to connect with people, but at the same time, everybody can DM you, you know? So back then, it wasn't like that. So if you found a different way 10 years ago, if you found a different way to connect with these people, like in my case, I was going to Amsterdam during the Electronic Music Week because I knew that those people were going to be there. So like I was taking a flight. I was staying there for like a whole week in front of the Dylan Hotel. And like, if you guys have gone to the AD, you know what I'm talking about. I would stay there, freezing in the cold, like all day, waiting to meet like these people. Not everybody was doing that, you know? So that was like my advantage back then, because you couldn't just DM these people on Instagram. There was no Instagram. So like I was meeting these people, I was like taking photos with the DJs and stuff like that. I still have all of those. Today it's a little bit different because I think, I mean, you can still do that, but at the same time, everybody can like Google online who are the A&Rs, who are the managers, who are like, you're going to find that information. And even if you don't find their email, you're going to find their Instagram. And so it's more difficult for them to pay attention to all of the people that reach out. So in that sense, definitely it's different. So yeah, I mean, we have these, we can text, we can DM anyone. We can DM, I don't know, the Pope if we want to, but so yeah, and that made it easier, but also more difficult. All right, guys, in 1 minute, I think I'm gonna just end the stream. 2 hours and a half, I think that's enough because I like I need to drink something and my beer is gone. I need water now. Thank you for your answers. Thank you guys for watching, actually. So yeah, if you have final questions, go ahead. Like now, you have 30 seconds. Of course, like happy to give you like my insight. So yeah. Hope you get more beer. I don't think I have it. I think I finished it, and I think that's it for the night because that was my last beer. So yeah, I need to go and buy some new ones. Open Hearts, the Weekend remake, maybe. I'm thinking about remaking something from the new album. I just don't know like which song. I don't know. Travis Scott type vocals on the next stream. Interesting. I like, yeah, I could work on that. I could definitely work on that so that for the next stream I'm ready to have something like that. Interesting. Yeah, I should definitely stream more. So I don't know when I will be able to do another one because I'm going to LA next week. So yeah, but I don't know. Like we'll see. Am I invisible? Wish I got here earlier. What do you mean, am I invisible? Did I miss questions? Hey man, would you? Oh yeah, I missed this one. Hey man, would you ever maybe remake some Chase Atlantic songs, especially Heaven? I don't know those songs, to be honest with you. I don't know them. Maybe I should check them out. All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's getting late here and getting tired, so thank you for tuning in. Hope you learned something. That was fun for me. So we definitely need to make another soon. Make sure, guys, last thing I'm going to say before ending the stream. Make sure to keep an eye on the channel for next week because a new video is coming. It's not going to be a remake. I'm telling you now, it's not a remake. It's a video that's going to answer a lot of these questions that you guys had for me tonight. Like, it's a video about like the approach to the music business in 2025 and like really being serious about becoming a music producer. So I think that video will be helpful for many of you. So yeah, make sure to keep an eye out for that. Guys, I'll see you soon.